5, 6 years, everybody getting older. That's a natural process. So no force stop that. That sort of moving, second by second. No force can stop that. Time always changing, always moving. What we can do is utilize properly or not time. That's up to us. So, whether believer or non-believer, we should use our time properly, meaningful way. Too much self-centered attitude and try to get some kind of satisfaction, that extreme self-centered sort of mind. The long run, negative consequences always happen. So, we should avoid the short-sighted sort of interest, importance of short-term sort of interest. So, every our movement, our verbal action, physical action, even mental action, ultimately depend on the motivation. So, whether believer or non-believer, we should look seriously or examine our motivation in our daily life. That's, I think, very, very important. So with sincere motivation, more compassionate motivation, respect others, and develop sense of genuine concern of others' well-being. Then your verbal action, physical action, everything, then becoming virtuous or good action. Through that way, days and weeks, months, years, you utilize time meaningful way. So the final day come. We feel happy. My life spent something meaningful. There are no regret. Otherwise, you may be very rich, even billionaire, very powerful person. But at that time, then feel some kind of anxiety. Already know the lifelong, or the result of lifelong hard work, money, remain in the bank. Now person knows, no longer use. And friends, and even, and particularly what a power, that moment you know fully, now no longer any help. So, the other hand, also at that time, I think those people who show us, very rich, very powerful, and I said, no concern about truth, about honesty, through various methods, become powerful, become very rich. That kind of self-confidence is based on false way, like that. So, the important is warm-heartedness. So that's my main, what's the day, concern, and also I committed make more awareness to my audience wherever I go. I always inform them the ultimate richness is here, not here. Richness here combined with rich brain is very good. Without this, just a brain, marvelous brain, lot of visions, lot of ambitions. The more ambition, more desire, more worry, more anxiety. So that's main thing. Then, second thing, the promotion of religious harmony. And actually these two things, ahimsa is India's tradition. I think we Tibetan, before Buddhism reached there, I think our ancestors, I think, more warrior. Good horse, strong horse, and then sword, and go here and there. Whenever we find some opposition, crush. Like Mongolian and Tibetan. I think in Central Asia, I think through centuries, I think we remain like that. Then Buddhism reached Tibet. I think whole Tibetan way of life changed. So I think one critic, the generations, I think Tibetan, with too much emphasis about spirituality, neglect other things. So some young Tibetan, they have that kind of critics. To some extent, I think true. Some Tibetans from Tibet, they actually, they telling me, we too small population, large area. So then think, around, I think before 1950, I think about around, 100,000 monks, and I think several thousand nuns remain celibate. Celibate. So about 100,000, one generation, if they marry, produce children, I think within that generation, it can multiply, I think 700,000, or maybe 10,000. So generation go that way. I think about 1,000 years ago, one Tibetan master used to survey Tibetan population. And at that time, about 10 millions. Then next 1,000 years, it reduced around 6 million. So in a way, past. Never return. So now, forget about Tibet. Now look, world. Our fate also, you see, due to the global level change. And even today, many parts of the world, a lot of bloodshed, a lot of suffering. All these due to lack of moral principle. Just think, power, money. Through that way, the poorer section of people always suffer. At global level, national level. Within this country also. The poorer section, millions of poorer section of people, Indian, still. say, facing difficulties. So that not due to lack of education, not due to lack of sort of proper sort of system. I think India, a democratic country, very, very stable country, very good. But the number of people in poorer section of people. Or a few years ago, one occasion, I returning from Orissa to Delhi. So at the airport, I wait. I think one hour like that. So one parliament member also waiting there. So then I told him, oh, in Orissa, the nearby Tibetan settlement, some local village, very, very poor condition. I told him, oh, very poor. So government should do something. Then he told me, the system of policy there, special sort of, because of that
Provision.
The provision, so look after them. But people, suppose implementing these, not carry properly. And sometimes it's completely neglected. So he told me that. It's true. So these also, you see, this country, 1,000-year-old, these moral principles, you see, because of the carry. But this clear indication is not adequate. Then these moral values, if we rely on religious teachers, it automatically becomes limited. So now, my sort of desire, or many my friends, similar sort of view, now through education, you see, we have to sort of make some effort, introduce people from kindergarten, these moral values. The moral value, not something holy thing, not that way, for their own benefit, for their own happy life, and benefit for society. I think now scientific sort of findings, very clear. Those people who have warm-hearted mind, their mind more calm. That's very good for their physical. Too much anxiety, too much greed, too much anger, automatically bring fear, hatred. That's very bad for our health. Then I think sleep also is, I think, some connection. Yesterday, the driver, oh, let's not miss that. You notice, you know. Yesterday, I always see some sort of rubbish talk with the driver. So I inquired that sort of dog, because of that driver, quite thin. So I asked, how many hours you sleep? He said, 4 hours. And I asked, is sufficient? He said, sufficient. I don't think sufficient. So then, yesterday afternoon, when I returned, I told him, now please, at least 6 hours should have sleep. For 6 hours, I told him. So, the warm-heartedness creates or brings self-centered, self-confidence. With self-confidence, not blind self-confidence with reasons, then you can act transparent. If you carry your life honest, truthful, then nothing to hide. And you can carry everything transparently. That creates trust among our community. Trust brings friendship. Then you feel always happy. Look here, smile. Look here, smile. Good. If you yourself remain a little bit distant from other, then occasionally some artificial smile. Otherwise, no genuine smile, isn't it? Look here, little suspicion. Look here, oh, little suspicion. Then finally, you really, deep inside, you will have some sort of what's it?
Loneliness.
Loneliness. So ahimsa means not just a physical level, not harming other. No, ahimsa, actually non-violence. Any action from genuine, compassionate mind, that action is non-violence. Any action out of fear, out of anger, hatred, or jealousy, then these actions are violence action. So, when we talk about non-violence, ultimately related with our warm-heartedness. That's India's tradition. Then second, religious harmony. If you have the sense, respect other, if you have sense of concern of others' well-being, then automatically develop sense of respect them, respect their right. Through that way, genuine religious harmony automatically comes. So these, I think, these two actually last, I think, at least 4,000 year old India's tradition. It's something very, very sort of
admirable,
very useful sort of tradition, and not only ancient tradition, but also very relevant to today's world. So India, most populated democratic country, I think you have potential to show rest of the world different religious faith. Anyway, people with different religious faith live together in the spirit of spiritual brotherhood, sisterhood. And then whenever we face some problem, through non-violent way, try to solve that. So, as far as I think Tibet is concerned, I always refer Indians, our guru, we are Chela. So now, perhaps, I think, too much, maybe too much.
Too much hope.
Or maybe too much
Expectation.
unrealistic hope. I think you are respected guru. In this field, you can be guru for rest of the world. I really feel. So first, you yourself implement these things sincerely. One of my criticism, many Indian, just yesterday I mentioned those people who have no hesitation involve corruption. I think many of them in the morning in their room, puja. Some offering some flower in front of Ganesh or front of Shivaji or Brahma, or some cases even Buddha. But no hesitation. In the real life, no hesitation. Exploit and hypocrisy and corruption. That's a big contradiction. Only two ways. Either accept God and be sincere, or deny God and worship money and go all sorts of corruptions. Okay. But it seems many Indian, I think, try to both. That I think impossible. Impossible. So first, you yourself should be clean. Then these 1,000-year-old tradition makes clear to rest of the world. I think particularly those areas, the conflict in the name of different religion. I think Indian people, including Indian Muslims, can do Shia, Sunni, make some effort. I think very possible. That's my dream. Maybe too much hope, I don't know. So in any way, you see, time is now, Kasota, time is always moving. So you should not have this sort of feeling or view, oh, last 60 years after independence, you see, we managed well, so we will continue this. Okay. I think that's wrong. Time changing, situation changing. So you must think about the new situation, about new opportunity or new danger. That's, I think, very important.